Hey guys, welcome to this minor 251 primer. So this is good if you have been addressing the 251 progression in the context of jazz standards and you encounter what some people call minor 251s. What's the minor 251? How do we build it, and what's the best recipe for comping for improv? So let's get going. Welcome to Jazz Guitar Lessons, where we help guitarists learn jazz faster, express themselves more fluently, and have fun along the way. My name is Mark, and if you're looking to learn jazz, form better practice habits, and especially if you enjoy a French accent, make sure to subscribe. Okay, quick recap. If you are in the key of C major, which we will do, which is called the people's key, you have the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? And if you have a 2 chord in that key, you will have the D minor 7, and you've heard this, it sounds very plain and basic, and you have the G7 coming up next, followed by C major of sorts, right? So these 3 chords are diatonic, meaning they pertain to the key of C major, and they constitute what we call the 251 cadence, right? So the D minor is the 2nd chord, and if you go up a fourth, so D, E, F, G, you go up a fourth, it's G7, and you go again up a fourth, you go G, A, B, C, and then you have the C major. So these 2 chords, the D minor, the G7, actually point or want to resolve towards the next chord, up a fourth, up a fourth. So cycle of fourths, extremely important. Now, not to spend too much time on this, is really to get your feet wet and go like, oh, I understand a minor 251. There's 2 main notes characteristics to get started. Again, you guys that love to breathe fire and you love jazz theory and stuff, you'll be allowed to play diminished and altered, pickled fifths and whatever you want on that. But the starting point is this. If I encounter minor 251 in the key of now C minor, which could be my destination, the first important note we have to modify or alter is the 2 note. The 2 chord needs a flat 5. So the D minor chord, that's a regular D minor 7 in a drop 2, so D, A, C, F, right? I will take the A and I will make it flat. Right. Now the name for this chord is D minor 7 flat 5. Again, D minor 7 flat 5. Good. And people will often puzzle over these voicings because there's not a lot of inversions and not a lot of them sound good. So whatever you have is good. This is a good one. It's on the frets and strings are 5, 6, 5, 6. Really easy to grab. That's the first note. And that's considered to be a 2 minor 7 flat 5 in the key of C minor. That's it. There are other names. People will call this half diminished. I'm not going to get into the details of this, but basically it's a diminished triad with a flat 7. So instead of having a diminished 7, it's half diminished. Or you'll see this with a circle with a dash through it. So people will say, well, it's half, so we split the dash. Or even in Montreal, some of my colleagues call this D split instead of D minor 7 flat 5 or D half or D half diminished. Hey guys, just a quick note. If you're enjoying this content and you're eager to boost your own jazz guitar playing, then connect with us. We've transformed the jazz skills of thousands of guitarists. You can find the link in the description or head directly over to jazzguitarlessons.net to begin your journey. All right, let's dive back into the episode. We're not going to get into what scales or whatever, but know that if you have an arpeggio that works on D minor 7, you can do flat 5. And that's all you need to know for now, right? There's more advanced stuff I'll get to later. Now, when you get to your G7, you can let the G7 alone if you want. And bonus points, if you know that A note, the flat 5 of D, if you keep that A flat during your G chord, you go, oh wow, that note is actually the flat 9. Cool. So that's why you'll often see D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 flat 9, because it's a continuum of using that note. So the G can be a flat 9. And of course you land on a C minor. And here's the other note that comes into play. If you have a C major chord, you'll have an E, right? C, D, E. But if you have an E flat, now you have a minor chord. So recapping, from the D minor 7 flat 5, we found out we needed an A flat, and from the C, we needed an E flat. You don't need to know theory and to know all this stuff, but if you pick the C major scale and to it, you have an E flat instead of an E natural, and you have an A flat instead of an A natural, you wind up with what is called commonly the C harmonic minor scale. So C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, C. This is not the cure-all and all holy grail of soloing on the minor 251. There's way more ramifications and things to think about and to do, but that's a really good place to start knowing, oh wow, if I only change these 2 notes, I can reappropriate my minor 2/5 as pertaining to the harmonic minor scale of where the destination is. If you don't know your harmonic minor scales, well, now that's one good place to get into, because you know your major stuff probably fairly well, right? So simply do. Sounds a bit like Egyptian or Middle Eastern, right? Again, that's not the only way to go about it, but that could be a good shortcut if you want to find ways to address minor 251s without too much of a headache. Good. Bonus points. If you do D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 flat 9, or even that's a sharp 5 or flat 13, you can do what you will to the G, because it's so tense that it will eventually resolve to your C. And if you want to keep it very simple, go to a C minor. Yes, not C minor 7, C minor. Pure C minor triad. It removes the problem of C minor sounding a bit like C minor. This sounds more like, it sounds softer. It doesn't sound very sad. So a C minor triad is really good. And bonus points if you want to do C minor 6. So C minor 6 would sound like this. C minor 6 also sounds like a true 1 in a key of 1 minor. And then people say, well, yes, but Mark, that is, yeah, I know the A flat is not in there. I know. So for you guys that have been into the melodic minor scales, can say, well, C minor is actually C melodic minor. And then the other chords, we have to think of other solutions. I won't get into that just now, but the D minor 7 flat 5, actually you can look at it as the D bass is removed, and then you're left with this. And that's an F minor triad with a D. So the D is the 6 of an F minor triad. So it's like D minor 7 flat 5 is an F minor 6 in disguise, basically. So that's one more advanced way you can get into it, but I digressed. If you get from a standard 251 and you need to do the legwork on making it work, you look at the 2 chord and you make it flat 5. You look at the 5 chord, you make it flat 9. And you look at the 1 chord and you leave it alone, you just make it a minor 1. And on that note, that's the minor 251 primer. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions about this. Talk to you soon. Take care.